Winnipeg, Nashville, the next game, 57-58. We've got Nashville about -140 to -145 as a home favorite here. The total 5.5. In this game, shaded to the over, about -120 to -125. This is a good game. This is a very good game. This is two teams that are playing good hockey right now. Nashville is, Winnipeg is, you got Nashville. I've said it. I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. Ever since the trade for Kyle Turris, this team has really perked up. They've played some of their best hockey since that trade was done with the Ottawa Senators. He gives them even more center ice depth. You see the team starting to get their offense on track a little bit. They had a very good performance in a bounce-back spot. Remember, they blew that lead to the Minnesota Wild last week, and Nashville responded with a very, very good effort against Colorado Saturday night, got out to a big lead. Colorado put in a couple of meaningless goals late, 5-2. In that game, it ended up being. So nice bounce-back performance for Nashville. They've been very, very good at home. We know the Bridgestone Arena here in Music City has been a very good home ice edge for Nashville. It was in the playoffs last year. It was in the regular season last year. And it's held true to form so far this season. 6-2 record for the Nashville Predators at home, whereas Winnipeg, they've been very good at home, 5-4 on the road. So a little bit more suspect away from home. But you got Winnipeg having won 4 straight, although 2 of those were against Arizona. We should preface that. Another win against Philly, and then a win against New Jersey, 5-2 on Saturday afternoon. Nashville, they have won 6 of their last 7, the only loss being that lead that they could not hold against Minnesota. Other than that, a lot of 6 wins of their last 7, 6-1, and beating some pretty good teams. I mean, Columbus they beat on the road, Pittsburgh in a shootout, Washington at home 6-3. There's been some good quality victories here for the Nashville Predators as of late. So give them credit. I'd actually lean to Nashville here a little bit. You have to lay a little bit of a price. I know Winnipeg's playing good, but Nashville at home, Nashville a little bit more of a complete, well-rounded hockey club, particularly defensively, than Winnipeg. So I think the Predators are my lean here, over the total as well. That's probably the way I'd look. Let's go to Andrew here in this game. We've got Winnipeg and Nashville for him up as a wager on the board tonight. Andrew, what are you looking at in this game?
Yeah, well, Ian, both these teams, like you mentioned, are playing good hockey right now. I do like the way these teams are looking. Like you mentioned, I think it was a huge difference when Kyle Turris got sent over. It's almost like it sparked some kind of chemistry from this Nashville team. Like you mentioned, it just brings more depth in the center ice for the Nashville Predators. But coming into this game, I think I've been following this Winnipeg Jets team quite a bit the past couple weeks, and I feel like sometimes coming into games, it's going to be a more track meet kind of style game. They're going to be pucking 4 or 5, 6 goals in a game. But looking at this game right now, I'm on the under, guys. I think that this is going to be one of those games where it's two teams that like to push the pace, that have defensemen that can get involved, that have like 2 or 3 lines that actually like to be run. Both coaches don't have just a couple players on the ice the whole game. So I think this is one of those games where it's almost one period where it's just a kind of a feeling out process. Both teams kind of just colliding in neutral ice, not really too much zone time happening. And, I think there will be some late clutch goals being scored, and I think the big-time players will step up. And, there are a lot of big names on both these teams. But the fact is, these are 2 good goalies. Connor Hellebuyck, I can't really say any more than I already have on these shows with you guys about him. I think he's a stand-up goalie. Just the past couple of games, I think he's really improved who he kind of is, and he's kind of starting to form an identity around this Jets team. People want to start taking this Jets team seriously. They got to realize that, that's a goalie back there that kind of is putting his team on his back some nights as well. And it's probably really huge for this, kind of young team as well that this Jets team is. So looking at this game, I just think that these are 2 teams you'd expect to kind of fly out and just constantly be putting the puck in the back of the net. But let's not go too fast here with these goalies that we have back there. And, sometimes I think when 2 teams that have the offense come together like this, it can kind of result in an under, because they're just going to collide for the first, period and a half of the game and feel each other out and take things easy, in my opinion. The goals will come in the late half of the game, not the early half. So my pick is the under on this game, Ian.
There we go, under for Andrew McInnes, Winnipeg and Nashville. And Dana Lane also involved in Winnipeg, Nashville. Great game. This is a fantastic game to watch. You got 2 teams that are feeling good, playing good. Only one can win. So this is one of the games I'll be keeping my eye on the most tonight. Jets and Preds on the board. And Dana, what's your bet on this game in Music City?
Yeah, what's good about this game, Ian, is that you're probably going to get a pretty good number on this. I can't imagine the general public seeing minus $1.35 or 40 as it opened and saying, I'm not going to take a shot with the Winnipeg Jets at a plus price, which is good for me because I like the Predators on this side, and and I hope this does not play a part in it, but Austin Watson is going to be suspended for a couple games for his hit the other night, which he absolutely should have.
Come on, but Austin Watson can't move the needle. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But it is funny though, Ian. It is funny when something like that happens. You can almost sit there and say this is going to happen with the line the next day. And I'm not saying that that's happening here because I think it's very reasonable to say I'm going to get two teams that are pretty evenly matched on a plus price. So, but it is funny how when those certain things happen, the meter always kind of runs in the opposite direction. But obviously that shouldn't change the way that you handicap. He's the fourth line guy. The one thing that could change the way that you handicap, though, is that they will make at least one call up. I'm anticipating this morning from Milwaukee because they only have 11 active forwards now. So that there is a little bit of a trickle down effect, but nothing that really drives me to go to the Winnipeg side. I really think that this first line has an advantage against Winnipeg. I think when you're looking at Trouba and Morrissey, I don't think that they match up very well against Forsberg and Johansson and Arvidsson. This is a unit that gives up almost 34 shots a game. Now they're going to be asked to contain three guys that, in Johansson's case, really hasn't had the type of year that you're probably expecting out of him. But certainly from Arvidsson and Forsberg, they've had sensational years. So, and you couple that with the fact that I'm starting to warm up. I don't want to go too crazy, guys, but I'm starting to warm up a little bit to Pekka Rinne, and this is my relationship with Pekka Rinne. Well, I'm not gonna say this, but we are in favor with each other for 3 games, and then we come back and we're not in favor with them for 3 games. When you face, but there's no denying that his save percentage this year has been fantastic. He's played with a lot of confidence. They've given up a few shots, but when you're facing a team that just simply doesn't put a lot of pucks on net, even though they are one of the top scoring teams in the league, but their shots on goal numbers don't indicate that Pekka Rinne is going to be too busy tonight. And even if he is, I have enough confidence in him that he's going to shut the door on the Winnipeg Jets. And the last factor in this, it's very simple. And again, sometimes this is so simplistic. Once again, and we were talking about this on the chat room, when is a trend, something that we kind of hang on to and utilize? Well, I'm not going to go back 3 years and say, well, that's part of what's going on today. But I think it is safe to go back and say, look, the Predators are fantastic at Bridgestone Arena. They're 6-1-1 this season. Coincidentally, the Winnipeg Jets are horrific at Bridgestone. They're just 3-9 there. So it's a very easy selection for me. I think Nashville is the better of the teams, and especially when they're playing at Bridgestone Arena, I have no problem laying $1.31 against Winnipeg tonight.
I agree. Yeah, Nashville side as well for me. I mentioned that. I don't mind the price, but to me, minus 140 with 6-2 at home, a great long-term home track record. That's not much of an impost to me to lay minus 140 in this kind of spot. And I think they're the better hockey team. I mean, I give Winnipeg credit because everybody threw this team in the dumpster about a week into the season when they were struggling defensively and Steve Mason was terrible and they brought in Hellebuck and then they started to get some wins under their belt. But let's not forget, they're still, I think, the inferior of these teams defensively, the Winnipeg Jets. And it's a situation where for them, going into Nashville is not going to be easy. You're facing a Nashville team that I think's got way more center ice depth, which is key since you acquired Kyle Turris. And I think you're going to see Johansson get going at that. I know he's not had the start, you think, but, there's some weapons here. Forsberg's just Mr. Consistent. You got to love that about him. I think Kevin Fiala has a lot of upside as well for the Nashville Predators in a top 6 forward role. There's no question. I think Colton Sisson's one of those guys that he doesn't always get on the score sheet, but he's a very impactful, useful player and will score the odd big goal for you. We saw that in the playoffs last year for sure for this Nashville team. So there are a lot of depth guys on this team that I think are pretty good players that can play both ends of the ice, and I think it benefits this team for sure. So it's going to be a tough one for Winnipeg in my mind. So, and again, this is actually not a bad number for Nashville at home, considering just how good they've been on home ice all season. That's going to be a very, very good hockey game for sure. One I'll be looking forward to.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.